twice last night. That's how many times Robert woke up to pee. The night before that, 3 times. Every single night for 3 years, Robert shuffled to the bathroom at least twice, sometimes more. He assumed it was his age. 68 years old, retired teacher. Figured this was just part of getting older. His doctor checked his prostate. Fine. Checked his bladder. Also fine. So what was it? Here's what shocked me when Robert finally came to my office. It wasn't his bladder. It wasn't his prostate. It was something most doctors never think to check. And once we fixed it, Robert started sleeping through the night. I'm Dr. Maria Chen, 28 years, specializing in urology and endocrinology. Today, I want to share what I discovered about nighttime urination. Because if you're waking up even once a night, everything I'm about to tell you matters. Before I tell you what we found with Robert, let me give you some context about why this matters so much to me personally. My father struggled with this for 12 years. Every night, 2 or 3 times, he'd shuffle to the bathroom. Exhausted during the day, foggy memory, gained weight he couldn't lose. His doctors kept telling him, "You're 75, this is normal." But I watched it steal his quality of life, year after year. And when I finally understood what was really happening, I realized we'd been looking in all the wrong places. You might think getting up once or twice isn't a big deal. Just 30 seconds to the bathroom, back to sleep. But here's what I've learned over nearly 3 decades. It's never just about the peeing. Every time you wake up, your sleep cycle breaks. Deep sleep gets interrupted. Your brain doesn't get to do its cleanup work. Your body doesn't get to repair like it should. Over time, I've watched patients develop memory problems from the disrupted sleep, weight gain from the metabolic changes, high blood pressure from the stress on their system, even increased risk of diabetes. One patient told me, "Dr. Chen, I thought I was losing my mind." She wasn't. She was losing sleep. And when I tell you what causes this, you're going to understand why fixing it changes everything. Let me show you something interesting. In certain parts of the world, people sleep through the entire night, even into their 80s and 90s, never wake up to pee. But in the United States, 1 in 5 men wake up at least twice every night. 1 in 4 women. That's millions of people. So, is it just aging? No. I used to think that too, until I started looking deeper. Because if it were just age, why would some elderly populations not have this problem? What I discovered changed how I practice medicine. There's a hormone. Most people have never heard of it. Even some doctors don't check for it. It's called antidiuretic hormone, pronounced antidiuretic. Let me break that down. Anti-diuretic, against excessive urination. This hormone is your body's nighttime guardian. It tells your kidneys, "Hey, we're sleeping now. Hold on to the water. Don't make so much urine." When it's working right, you sleep through the night. When it's not working, you're up every few hours. And here's the thing most people don't know. This hormone doesn't just stop working because you turn 65. Something disrupts it, usually several somethings. Let me tell you about Robert's story, because his journey to fixing this was not straightforward. Robert came to my office after 3 years of broken sleep. "Dr. Chen," he said, "I've tried everything." And he had. His primary doctor checked his prostate, slightly enlarged, but nothing concerning. Prescribed medication for it anyway. Didn't help. Then they checked his bladder, ran tests. Everything looked normal. "Maybe it's just age," they told him. But Robert wasn't satisfied, because he had a friend, same age, who slept perfectly through the night. "If it's age," Robert asked me, "why doesn't everyone my age have this problem?" Good question. So I started asking Robert about his routine, not just about his bladder or prostate, about everything. "What do you eat for dinner?" He paused. "Usually something light, salad, maybe some chicken." "What do you drink in the evening?" "Water, lots of water. I try to stay hydrated." "When do you drink it?" "Oh, mostly after dinner. I'm not very thirsty during the day, but by evening I'm drinking constantly." Red flag number 1. "Do you snack at night?" "Sometimes. Crackers. Maybe some pretzels if I'm watching TV." Red flag number 2. "Coffee? Tea?" "Coffee in the morning, then again around 2, sometimes 3. Helps me stay alert." Red flag number 3. I didn't tell him yet what I was thinking. I wanted to check one more thing. I pressed my thumb into his ankle, left an indent. Fluid retention. "Robert," I said, "I don't think this is your bladder or your prostate." He looked confused. "I think your body is trying to tell you something about the way you're eating and drinking. And once we figure that out, I think this problem goes away." He was skeptical. I could see it in his face. But he agreed to try. I gave him a simple plan, nothing complicated, just a few changes. First, stop drinking water after 6 p.m. Second, no snacks after dinner. Third, cut the afternoon coffee. Fourth, add more potassium-rich foods to his diet. That was it. "That's all?" he asked. "Try it for 2 weeks, then come back." Now let me explain why I gave Robert that specific plan. Because once you understand this, you'll see why it works. Remember that anti-diuretic hormone I mentioned? It's controlled by several things. Think of it like a dimmer switch. When everything's balanced, the switch stays up. Hormone levels stay high. Kidneys hold on to water. You sleep through the night. But when certain things happen, the switch gets pushed down. Hormone levels drop. Kidneys release more water. You wake up to pee. So what pushes that switch down? The first thing is sodium and potassium imbalance. Your body needs these 2 minerals to be in balance. When you eat too much salt and not enough potassium, your kidneys have to work overtime. They try to flush out the excess sodium. How? By making more urine. This is why Robert had that fluid retention in his ankles. During the day, while he was standing and moving, fluid accumulated in his legs. But at night, when he lay down, gravity stopped pulling the fluid down. It got reabsorbed into his bloodstream. And where does extra blood fluid go? Through the kidneys, into the bladder, out as urine. Every few hours. Let me give you a quick example of how powerful this sodium-potassium thing is. I had a patient last month, 73 years old, waking up 4 times a night. I asked him what he ate for dinner the night before. "Canned soup," he said. I looked it up. That one can of soup? Over 2,000 milligrams of sodium. His entire daily limit in one meal. I had him swap canned soup for homemade soup with fresh vegetables. Added half an avocado on the side. First night, woke up twice instead of 4. Week later, once a night. Same person, same bladder, different mineral balance. Now, back to the other factors. Second thing, blood sugar. Even if you're not diabetic, unstable blood sugar affects that hormone. When blood sugar rises, your body tries to get rid of it. It pulls water along with the sugar. More urine production. Robert's evening crackers and pretzels, raising his blood sugar right before bed. Third thing, caffeine. Coffee, tea, even chocolate. They all stimulate the kidneys, act as diuretics. Robert's 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. coffee, still in his system at bedtime. Fourth thing, timing of fluid intake. Here's something fascinating. Your body doesn't actually need you to chug water at night. In fact, that thirst you feel in the evening, it's not true dehydration. It's a survival mechanism. Your body knows you won't drink for the next 8 to 10 hours, so it triggers thirst in the evening to make you drink enough to get through the night. But here's the problem. If you respond to that thirst by drinking a lot right before bed, you're defeating the purpose. You're just guaranteeing you'll wake up to pee. Fifth thing, evening snacks. When you eat carbohydrates or salty foods at night, 2 things happen. 1, they make you thirsty, so you drink more. 2, they spike your blood sugar and deplete your potassium, which brings us back to problem number 1. It's a cycle. Now here's where it gets interesting. There are 2 nutrients that studies suggest may support bladder control: vitamin B1 and magnesium. Vitamin B1 supports the nerves that control your bladder. Magnesium helps vitamin B1 work properly. If you're deficient in either one, especially if you notice you have to pee urgently, but only a little comes out, that may be a neurological signal. Your bladder nerve might not be communicating properly with your brain. So the solution isn't just about what you drink, it's about what you eat, when you eat it, and what nutrients your body has available. Let me show you what happened when Robert made those changes. 2 weeks later, Robert walked back into my office. Different man. "Dr. Chen," he said, "I slept through the night. 4 nights in a row." 4 nights. After 3 years of waking up 2 or 3 times every single night. "Tell me what changed," I said. "The first few nights, nothing. I thought, this isn't going to work. But then, night 4, I woke up and it was morning. I couldn't believe it." He was following the plan. No water after 6 p.m., no evening snacks, coffee only in the morning, more vegetables, especially leafy greens and avocados for potassium. "What about the other nights?" I asked. 5 out of 7, I sleep completely through. The other 2, maybe once. But that's it. And I can fall back asleep." The fluid retention in his ankles? Gone. His energy during the day? Better than it had been in years. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Dr. Chen, the first morning I woke up and realized I hadn't gotten up once. I just laid there for a minute. I felt rested. Actually rested. I didn't even remember what that felt like." That's what gets me. Not the medical measurements. The feeling of waking up rested for the first time in years. Robert's case isn't unique. I've seen this pattern hundreds of times. But let me tell you about Linda, because her story shows something else important. I felt rested, actually rested. I didn't even remember what that felt like. That's what gets me. Not the medical measurements. The feeling of waking up rested for the first time in years. Robert's case isn't unique. I've seen this pattern hundreds of times. But let me tell you about Linda, because her story shows something else important. Linda is 72, grandmother of 5, sharp as could be. She came to me not for the nighttime urination, though she had it. She came because her daughter was worried about her blood pressure. During our conversation, Linda mentioned, "Oh, and I'm up 3 or 4 times a night to pee. Has been for years. I figured that's just how it is at my age." Same assumption Robert had. But here's what was different about Linda. She had already cut out caffeine years ago, didn't snack at night, didn't drink water before bed. "So why am I still waking up?" she asked. I checked her ankles. Fluid retention. Significant. "Linda, do you add salt to your food?" "Oh yes, I love salt. Everything tastes bland without it." "How much potassium are you getting? Vegetables? Avocados?" She made a face. "I'm not really a vegetable person. I eat them sometimes." There it was. Linda's sodium-potassium ratio was completely off. She wasn't snacking or drinking before bed, but she was eating way too much sodium all day long, and almost no potassium. Her body was desperately trying to flush out the excess sodium, all day, all night. I gave her a potassium supplement to start, 700 milligrams with breakfast, and I asked her to add just one high-potassium food to her diet every day. An avocado, a big salad, sweet potato, anything. "How long until I notice a difference?" she asked. "Give it a week." 9 days later, she called me. "Dr. Chen, I thought you'd want to know. I slept through the night last night. First time in I don't know how long." The fluid retention in her ankles? Reduced by half in 2 weeks. Her blood pressure, the original reason she came, dropped 15 points, all from balancing sodium and potassium. Linda's story taught me something important. Sometimes the solution isn't about stopping one thing. It's about adding something your body desperately needs. Let me give you the practical steps now. Based on what worked for Robert, Linda, and hundreds of other patients. Step 1. Stop drinking fluids 3 hours before bed. Get your fluids in during the day, morning, and afternoon. Step 2. No snacks after dinner, especially salty snacks or carbohydrates. If you must eat something, a small amount of protein is okay, but no crackers, chips, pretzels, cookies, or bread. Step 3. Limit caffeine to morning only. 1 or 2 cups of coffee or tea in the morning is fine, but nothing after noon. Step 4. Increase potassium. This is crucial. Foods high in potassium, avocados, leafy greens like spinach and kale, sweet potatoes, bananas in moderation, salmon. Or take a high-quality potassium supplement, 700 to 1,000 milligrams with breakfast. Step 5. Reduce sodium. You don't have to eliminate salt completely, but if you're adding salt to everything, scale back. Check labels. Processed foods are loaded with sodium. Step 6. Consider vitamin B1 and magnesium. If you have the issue where you urgently need to pee, but only a little comes out, this may help. Vitamin B1 supports the nerves that control your bladder. But vitamin B1 needs magnesium to work. Start with a vitamin B1 supplement. Whatever the bottle says, multiply by 4 for therapeutic dose. And add magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams before bed. Step 7. Check for fluid retention. Press your thumb into your ankle. If it leaves a dent, you have fluid retention. This means your sodium-potassium balance is off, or you may have blood sugar issues. Address those first. Now, before you start making changes, a few important things. First, this is educational information. It is not medical advice for your specific situation. If you're waking up to pee multiple times a night, you should see a doctor. Rule out serious conditions. Diabetes, enlarged prostate, bladder infections, kidney problems can all cause nighttime urination. Don't assume it's just hormones or minerals. Get checked first. Second, if you're on any medications, especially blood pressure medications or diuretics, talk to your doctor before changing your potassium intake. Potassium supplements can interact with certain medications. Third, emergency symptoms. If you experience any of these, seek immediate medical attention. Blood in your urine, pain when urinating, fever along with urination problems, inability to urinate when you feel the urge, sudden severe swelling in your legs or feet. These are not just mineral imbalances. These need immediate evaluation. Fourth, diabetes check. If you're waking up multiple times and urinating large amounts, get your blood sugar checked. Excessive nighttime urination can be an early sign of diabetes. Fifth, prostate evaluation for men. While nighttime urination often isn't about the prostate, an enlarged prostate can contribute. Get it checked, especially if you're over 50. This information is about optimizing your body's natural hormone balance. It's not a replacement for proper medical evaluation. Now, if you're going to do just one thing tonight, do this. Stop drinking fluids 3 hours before bed. That's it. Just that one change. Because here's what I've noticed. When people try to change everything at once, they get overwhelmed and change nothing. But if you pick one thing and do it consistently for a week, you'll see a difference. And once you see that difference, you'll be motivated to add the other steps. So tonight, 3 hours before bed, last sip of water. Try it. Let me bring this back to Robert. 6 months after our first appointment, he sent me a note. Dr. Chen, I can't remember the last time I woke up at night. My wife says I'm less grumpy. My grandkids say I have more energy, all because of a few simple changes. That's what happens when you fix the root cause instead of just managing symptoms. Your antidiuretic hormone is powerful. When it's working right, you sleep through the night, and all of those other problems that come with broken sleep, they start to resolve too. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, because I make videos like this every week. Practical medical information that actually helps. And share this with someone who's dealing with this. There are millions of people waking up every night thinking this is just how it has to be. It doesn't. Try these steps. Give your body a chance to reset that hormone. Then come back and let me know how it went. I'm Dr. Maria Chen, and I'll see you in the next video.